Hi, I'm Val. I'm an instructor here at Delphi. I'm doing a demonstration today on how to use Frit in a bead. The Frit is just crushed glass. You can buy it in that form, or you can also crash up your own. Lots of times people who have small little bits of rod left over like to do that, like to just kind of bang it up and make their own little Frit. So I have a little bit here that's black and white that I banged up, and then there's a little bit of the green that's it's actually more of a reduction Frit, which is also going to get a little bit of metallic look to it. But basically, Frit is just crushed glass that you can roll your bead in and get sort of a speckly effect. So you can either use it as a background for flowers or other things, or you can just make a speckled bead with it. So that's what I'm going to do. Get our base bead going first. There's no place to put my feet. You can use, they do make these little Frit trays, which is what I've got right here. You can also just use a graphite paddle, which is what I'm doing right here. Either way, it's just, I think, a personal preference thing. Now this particular bead, because the Frit you usually melt in, you could leave it a little bit rough if you wanted to, but most of the time we melt it in pretty good. So because of that, the final shape doesn't necessarily have to be done before you roll it into the Frit. I mean, I always like to get my shape sort of under control before I do anything, but it's really not something that I have to do, because I will have it soft enough again after I put the Frit in to be able to work on the shape if I choose to. Okay, get a basic shape going, and then I'm going to just soften the surface, get it kind of warm. You'll see it start to glow just a little bit. I don't want it too soft, and then you just roll it in your Frit. Come back into the flame. You can see if the bead was soft enough, it just sticks. Then you want to give it a little flame just to get it to really melt to the surface. And then if you didn't get as much as you want, you just kind of keep repeating it till you get as thick of a coating as you want. Sometimes if you want to make sure you get some on the top, if you're just using the graphite paddle, you kind of have to position the Frit on the paddle so that you can get some up around the top. So melt in a little, and then you can add more. Do the bottom, same way. I'm still being pretty careful not to bite into that bead release. So I'm being pretty gentle. I'm not allowing the corner of that graphite to chew up my bead release. So when you've got as much as you want, I'm just going to go ahead and melt it in. Now it's melted in pretty good. So now I'm going to shape it a little. It's hard to see, I know, because it's hot, but it is speckly, which is kind of a cute look. If I did nothing more to this, that would just remain, once it's cool, it would come back and be just the speckly. I used the black and white that I crunched up, and kind of a transparent green, which is the double helix one. But because it is a reduction, I can change my flame a little bit to take some of the oxygen out, and then it actually will make that transparent greenish color sort of get metallic. which is really kind of pretty. So you get your shape the way you want it, because now I'm going to let it, this will cool my flame, so I won't be able to, once I do this, I won't be able to get it soft again. So taking some of the oxygen out, and it just adds a little bit of a silvery shimmer. And now I'm letting the temperature of the bead cool considerably, so from right now, you can go right into your annealer. So.